Hey guys, my name is Marcus Trusty. I'm the founder of CORE based out of Buena Vista.
My name's Chad Hickson. I'm the Executive Director for the Trails Preservation Alliance, and I'm also a board member for a local motorcycle club out of Salida called the Central Colorado Mountain Riders.
CCMR for short. We're here today, guys, to talk to you about a local draft recreation plan that's been produced for just Chaffee County. Now, I'm a local business owner to the county and a third generation native, and Chad is...
Yeah, I too, I grew up in the Salida area, second generation local family. We also have a local business in Salida, Colorado.
Right, and so this draft plan just goes on the outline of the county, so it doesn't consider, forest districts or BLM, it's just on the county. We have a couple of concerns about that draft plan that we'd like to talk to you guys about. But first, this video is supported and brought to you by a number of different organizations. CORE, Colorado Off-Road Trail Defenders, and Chad represents several other organizations as well.
Yeah, in addition to being the Executive Director for the Trails Preservation Alliance, we're here representing COVCO, Colorado Off-Highway Vehicle Coalition, the Colorado Snowmobile Association, CSA.
So there are a number of organizations that have major concerns about this draft rec plan. We're going to show you a couple examples so that you can see what we're talking about. And then it'd really help if you guys would make comments on the draft rec plan.
And I think as organizations and locals, we don't see the entire plan being bad, but we do have some serious concerns where it relates to how public land is managed.
So the draft Chaffee County Recreation Plan can be found in the link that'll be in the copy accompanying this video. So if you want to look at the full plan, as Chad said, there's some things in there that are really good. There's some helpful things, but obviously we have some concerns. So please get on there, look at the plan for yourself, see what you think, and then help us provide some comments back to the rec plan.
Yeah, and so originally this plan was emailed to us, or it was opened up for feedback on May 21st, and the original closing date was June 4th. So the TPA, CORE, and some other organizations represented here have all submitted comments already. Partially due to those comments, they have actually extended this comment period until June 20th. So that gives us a little bit more time to give them a lot of feedback.
So here's the deal. Public land belongs to all of us, right? The public land is exactly what it says. It's land for the recreating public for everybody. Now, 82% of Chaffee County is considered public land, which everybody should have a say in regardless if you live here or not. Certainly local opinions are important, but again, access to public land is for everybody. And this rec plan was substantially driven by a very small survey that was sent out over a period of a couple weeks to solicit responses.
Yeah, and in that survey, they claim that that they think about 4 million people visit Chaffee County a year to recreate or as tourists. So 3,700 people opened the survey, and after looking at the first question, 2,600 people proceeded to finish that survey. So 2,600, roughly 2,600, it's like 2,580 people completed the entire survey. Now, of those 2,500 people, representation was stated to have come from 41 states, and 36% of the 2,600, we'll say, people that completed this survey, 36% of them were Chaffee County residents. Now that's roughly 900 people. So that's 5% of our population in Chaffee County.
Which is not great. Like, I'll just tell you right now, that's not statistically significant, right? If we had 100 people in this garage where we're filming this right now, we pulled 5 out and asked them what kind of music they like to listen to, which it would not be a good representation of 100, right? Like, what's your favorite kind of music?
I don't think it would be classical, Marcus.
Probably not. Those 5 people wouldn't magically all say classical and agree with Chad, right? I mean, it's not a good way to solicit information back. But think about the other part of that. There's 4 million visitors to our public lands in Chaffee County every single year. and you subtract out the 900 locals that gave answers, so around 1,700 other people commented about public lands against 4 million that come here, and that's statistically insignificant. I don't even have enough fingers to add that up. So if you guys have followed any of the organizations represented in this video over the last 5 years, you'll know that we all contributed heavily to the current and ongoing travel management process, also known as the Pike and San Isabel lawsuit settlement agreement, that mandated travel management be done on every single mile of road and trail in the entire forest. Now, we were heavily involved, TPA, CCMR, we all submitted substantial comments about how and where people should be able to recreate. And the issue with this plan is it's really starting to take on a look of travel management by a third party. And why would we need that? If we're just going through the process now, why would we need a separate group with only a couple responses from the community start to get involved as a third party for travel management?
Yeah, and I think what's really alarming to us, like we've talked about on multiple occasions, is that we've been in this process for, like Marcus said, the past 5 years. This group came to the table in 2017, so that was 4 years ago, and this group has not participated in that process at all. Yet now they have made a rec plan that mimics a lot of things that have been done in travel management and the process that was mandated by federal law.
So, look at this screenshot. This is from the plan where it says, effective managing recreation for wildlife will mean saying no to recreation development in purple and red zones and decreasing impacts in the orange zones that have been identified by Envision. And then we look here, and so they're looking for a place that, people can confidently recreate responsibly, and, looking at trying to, manage so that we don't disturb wildlife. And then this is one of the most disturbing sections, which was the seasonal protection program that they're suggesting will implement seasonal closures on a voluntary basis. But if that doesn't work, then there'll be a more regulatory approach if required. So all of those things are travel management. That's actually the very definition of travel management, where you can and can't go. So let's give you a specific example. Look here at the Envision wildlife map that they created, and this is part of the draft rec plan. Now down here you can see that the purple is undisturbed highest quality habitat. They would suggest strongly avoid that area. Red is undisturbed high quality habitat, to avoid that area. And then orange is disturbed highest quality habitat, managed to support wildlife. So you can see the whole county there, or most of the county. Let's look at a specific example. Nathrop is right here. This is where Ruby Mountain Campground is, Bald Mountain Gulch. You'll see that little loop right there is the Bald Mountain Circle. And then this route right here is 185D. And so that borders purple and red. Now let's look at this on the MVM. So again, here's Nathrop. Here's Ruby Mountain Campground, Bald Mountain Gulch. There's the loop up there. And then this is what 185D. That was the route that was right there. This is considered purple on their map. This is considered red. And this is orange on the route here. Now remember, on MVMs, all of the shaded routes have seasonal closures. And in most cases, those are seasonal closures for wildlife. So if we roll right up over here to the legend, you'll see that 185D is closed a large part of the year. And so the dates allowed are only May 1st to November 30th because there's a wildlife closure in place. Now 185D, throughout the travel management process that we've been referring to, let me show you how much information goes on to look at that route. So you can see the details here, the scoring, so the travel analysis process determined that this was a high value, low risk road. You can see the risks over here: moderate for wildlife, moderate for watershed, high for recreational use benefit, high for fuel and fire access, high for resource management and range benefits. So the TAP process gave this a high-low score, which is about ideal for any type of routes in travel management. You can go down and see the alternatives that were discussed or looked at for this route. Rocky Mountain Wild submitted species and data mapping for the area. So you can see everything that was mapped in terms of animals living in that area. You'll see the big one is the Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep, and you can see that it's listed as a sensitive species for National Forest Service, but Envision also heavily talks about, elk and mule deer herds taking a big hit, but they are not sensitive species according to U.S. Forest Service. And then you go down, the screening criteria that was done on this route. Look at all of the information that was screened for that route. So this is one single route in travel management. All of this information was done on that one single route. That's a lot of information that is looked at before it's determined that that route is high recreation use benefit, low risk rating, and then was given a wildlife seasonal closure because of the bighorn sheep habitat in the winter range. That's substantially more information than when you look at that same area where they just say undisturbed highest quality habitat strongly avoid. And then it'll say what that habitat is. You would assume that is every animal living in Chaffee County will be destroyed if we do anything in that area. That's why Envision shouldn't be involved in travel management. That's why the agency plan and the agency process is much more rigorous than what we're going through right now, and that we're suggesting that Envision shouldn't be involved in the travel management process.
So they're probably asking us, what can we do to help? Well, we're in a unique situation right now because this feedback period has been open for a number of more days. So until June 20th, we have the opportunity to provide more feedback on this recreation plan. What we'd like you to do is...
Right, it's super simple. So follow the steps that are included with this video. You're done, you watched all of our information, copy and paste these email addresses into your email browser, and then type in the body of the email who you are, what you like to do, and how you recreate in Chaffee County. Be sure to note if you're a local, and then request that they drop any part of the travel management piece in this plan because we don't feel that's appropriate outside of the federal process. It's really simple, all right? Like we've always said in all of our other comment videos, it doesn't have to be anything super complicated or crazy. Tell them who you are, how you recreate here, if you live here, and ask that they remove any references to travel management out of the plan and leave that to the federal agencies.
I digress there.
We might just leave it at that.
Did I miss anybody?
Because we weren't going to mention CCMR.
How many were there? Did you count?
So did you take the survey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have opened it once or twice, so I was probably counted in there.
Twice or once?
I can't remember. I think I physically opened it twice, so maybe that was 2 entries.
Well, believe it or not, I'm part of the 2% that actually doesn't mind human waste and trash in a campsite. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I was wondering why it was only 98% hated that.
I took the survey twice.
God, 41 states? What 9? I mean, we only got 41, so we know California and Texas probably filled that out.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it was during COVID, so I'm guessing nobody from Hawaii?
Maybe not.